You got the glasses, bro.
It happens when you dance.
Got the laser goggles.
When you dance your heart out, that's what happens. What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny Ferrari.
My name is Parker.
And we are Excellent Sound, and we are back with another remake today, baby. We are doing recovery. Let's recover, bro.
Let's recover for some crazy remakes, dude.
Crazy remakes, Skrillex and Space Lace. Space Laces, dude.
Yeah.
This sound that we're gonna be making today is so sick, and of course we have it for absolutely free in the link in the description below. What else is in the link in the description down below? Of course is the link to join the early access for Quest for Bass Volume 2, which is coming out September 20th at 12 p.m. PST.
That's this Saturday, dude.
That's this Saturday, you guys. So, just so you know, we've already announced a couple things, and we're just gonna go over real quickly what we've talked about. We are only doing a limited number of 750 copies for the early access this time. That means only 750 of you will get all the early access bonuses and be entered into the contest. Let's talk about what you guys can get. Now that we've had a couple videos, we can pretty much announce everything here.
We love the giveaways, dude.
We love the giveaways.
We love doing contests.
Yes.
We love giving away free stuff, dude.
Yep, guys, we have 7 original project files by Excellent. We have 5 project file remakes, this one included, and we got 2 more that we'll announce at the end of the video. We'll show you guys a nice little preview of that. We got 50 bonus Serum presets.
Hell yeah, we do.
And of course, the contest where we're giving away the entire Excellent library for 3rd place, a Machine Micro for 2nd place, all you Freddigans out there, and you'll get the Excellent library too.
Frederick again, dude.
Frederick again. And of course, the grand prize.
Drum roll, baby.
Of an entire studio setup. All of that info will be in that link in the description below, so if you guys want to go check that out, all of the details will be there, plus much more we got going on. We're super excited. Again, guys, click the link in the description. Only 750 copies will be available on September 20th at 12 p.m. PST.
Yes, guys, and the only way that you're going to be able to buy the early access copies is if you're on the list. So make sure that you're on the list, and then this Saturday, the 20th at 12 p.m., we're gonna be sending out your personal purchase links, okay? So just put that in your calendar, sign up, and we'll see you at 12 p.m.
So let's jump back into the video.
Let's
talk about this awesome bass. This bass is so cool, it's so interesting. We're using Serum 2 to make it. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna start off with Serum 2. We're gonna start with oscillator A, and you're gonna choose a default shape, and you're gonna go ahead and use a sawtooth, okay? Select the sawtooth wave and set the octave to +3. Set the fine tune to -14 if you want to go ahead and have it sound exactly like it. That's essentially what it's going to be sounding like. And then we're going to go ahead and select the unison, and we're going to set that to 2. And the detune is going to be set to 0.21. The level is going to be set to -13.6. The blend should be at 75. And then the warp is going to be FM from B, not PD, right? PD is phase distortion. That's what a lot of the Serum 1 FM was. They switched it. Now it's PD. I don't know, who cares? But FM is like the real FM, I guess. Or not the real FM. It's the old FM. The real FM is the PD from FM for B. FM from B. This is what you need to do for the first oscillator.
Nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows.
I don't know if I played it, but this is the sound that we are making today if I didn't already play it. Super weird, trash can-y sound. And so far it should be sounding like this. A little detuning, you hear that? Okay, sounds pretty good. Next, let's go ahead and set up oscillator B. Oscillator B is also going to be a sawtooth wave, except this time we're going to do the octave at +3 and the fine tune at 0. The unison is going to be set to 4, the detune at 0.14, the blend at 53. And we're gonna go ahead and set the sync on the right side. Let's go ahead and select the sync and set that to 0.260 and set the level to -10. Now the sync, we went ahead and added a macro because we're gonna be automating this macro throughout the song. We got a lot of automation macro stuff going on, so just bear with us. But really cool learning opportunity for you guys, so pay attention. Set macro 5 or whatever macro you want to the sync and have it go both ways and set it to 14, and we're gonna be messing with this later. But right now it should be right there in the middle at 2.6. And then this is where shit gets crazy, bro, okay?
Getting real.
So we are FMing from B, and at the same time, we are also FMing from A, right? So what we got here in this type of situation is I like to call 69ing sawtooth waves, okay? So basically, when 2 sawtooth waves are in love with each other, you FM from one, right? And at the same time, you FM from the other. So you take one sawtooth wave just like this, and you FM from B, and then from B, you flip that upside down and FM that one into that one, which creates an interesting, beautiful love story.
I thought you were gonna go like this, but no,
they're 69ing.
It's not.
No, they're 69ing.
Like
FM,
this.
and they're into each other. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like
and
that.
Then,
I like
right,
that.
so this is gonna sound like this. Isn't that cool? It kind of creates white noise without having a
really
white noise
sick.
oscillator. Wow, really smart. You can get noise without a noise oscillator. How about that, right? When you 69 two sawtooth waves, right? Write that down. Next, the best thing that you want to do is you want to introduce the cuck, oscillator C. Oscillator C is going to be the cuck. It's going to be watching the whole time in the background, right?
Yep.
But in order to do this properly, it's got to sneak in, which we're gonna have the oscillator C sneak in and cuck into the 69
Don't
sawtooth.
you mean sink in?
It's gonna sink in. No, but it's gonna sneak in. It's gonna
Okay.
sink. No, that's not sinking.
We're
This
gonna
one's sinking.
we're gonna put the sneak knob to.
No, we're not sneaking on this one. This one's
okay.
already sneaking in. It's sneaking into the 69 position.
Okay, all right.
Oscillator C is sneaking in, but it's in the cuck chair, but there's no sync.
Okay.
So oscillator C is going to set to +3, +2 for the semitone. Fine tune at 0. We're going to mess with this in a minute. Unison at 2, detune at 0.29, and we're going to turn the level all the way down because the cuck is not introduced yet. So let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like. Should sound exactly the same. Awesome. It does sound exactly the same, right? Because what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be using an oscillator to sneak this cuck in. We're actually going to be using an LFO to sneak the cuck into the room. So you want to go ahead and set up a nice little ramp. It's going to be subtle, right? And you're going to set this ramp on the level knob. That's him coming into the room. Set that to bar and put that on the level knob and have that set to 90%. I'm going to go ahead, right now it's on a macro, right? So as you can see, the macro is on C pitch mod up. Because what's actually happening is we're actually going to go ahead and add this LFO to this coarse pitch as well. So go ahead and put it on the coarse pitch, set that to 7%. In addition, we're also going to use LFO2, which is going to be a triangle wave, just like so. Set that to retrigger, set that to 30 secs, and then put that on the fine tune at 70%. And then lastly, we have this LFO, which we'll use later, but if you want to go ahead and make it now, it's going to be set like this, just like a little bit more of a smoother sort of S-curve ramp set to a bar. Let's see what this is sounding like. We probably won't hear anything because we have this on a macro. So if you didn't know, you can actually use macros to adjust the different dry wet of these LFOs. So since I have right over here, you can do aux source. So I have an aux source on the coarse pitch, which is essentially the LFO that's changing, having it pitch up. And I also have it on the level. So you can go ahead and add a macro to these. Once you've added that LFO, you should get this in the matrix. Add it to macro 1. I'm gonna turn this up so you can hear what the cuck sounds like fully in the room. You hear it rising? That's the cuck coming in. You're hearing him. He's not being sneaky. And the reason we're doing that is because we're actually going to use that later. It's like a little cool little trick we're going to use later. We're going to use it. We're going to automate it in, which I'll show you where. All right. So for now, but we're keeping them off. No cuck. Just the two sawtooths and love 6090. All right. Now that we got that part done.
Oscillator cuck, dude.
Oscillator cuck. Beautiful. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use a filter 1. We're going to use a reverb filter. We're going to make sure both A and B are going into the reverb filter. Set the cutoff to 84, the resonance to 50 sevs, the drive to 43, the damp to 60 toots, and the mix to 45%. Should sound like this. Up here, we want to make sure that both the filters up top for the routing go into filter 1. That should be pretty stock, filter 1. And then I think over here, for oscillator C, the cuck is going directly to the main. We're not sending him to the filter, right? He is just going straight to the main. He doesn't get the love. All the love is for oscillator A and oscillator B going to the reverb filter.
They're the main attraction.
They're the main attraction. Let's jump into some of the effects. Now, we got a couple different things we're going to set up. We're going to be using bus 1, and we're going to be using the main. Now, this is where stuff's going to get kind of interesting. So if I go to the mix tab over here, what I have going on is I actually have the filter. What you want to do is you want to select the filter. You can't really do it here, so this is why it can get really tricky. So when you guys are trying to like deconstruct Serum 2 presets, make sure you guys check this. We actually have filter 1 going to bus 1, and then the output is going to none. So what's happening, right, is we're skipping, instead of it going directly to main, which is it's already set up, it's usually set up just to do like that, is how it looks. We're saying, no, don't go there. Go to bus 1 first, right? Because it feels really cool to do that. And then on bus 1 should be set up to go to the main, okay? So the first thing we gotta do is we gotta start adding some effects to the bus 1. So we're gonna add a little bit of hyperdimension, and we're gonna add a little bit of utilts. The utility is adding a little bit of width. It's actually making it more mono. So we're gonna set this up a little bit more mono. That's pretty stock. And then hyperdimension, just a little bit of mix at 11%, and then a lot of bit of mix on the dimension side at 88. And turn the size all the way down. Should sound like this. All right, now that that's there, let's go ahead and jump into the main effects.
I love the bus options now that we have in Serum 2.
We're going nuts, bro.
It's so much better.
It's confusing as fuck for people. I love it.
Yep.
All right, now we got another utility, right? We're taking out more width, right? Because that dimension was adding width. We're taking it back out, so width at 27.1. Again, we're on the main effects now. And then we're adding a little bit of EQ. We're adding a low cut and then another equalizer, which I think we'll be doing something with. I don't know if I deleted it. Add it, feels great. And then add another hyperdimension, right? One final hyperdimension with the mix knob is going to be all the way down, the size all the way down, and the mix at 18%. We put a macro on the mix knob, so you can just turn the mix knob up to, what do we have it? To 48% if you want to match ours, or you can add a macro like us. Now we did this kind of cool thing where you can actually remove the FM. So we added a macro on both FM knobs, right? So let's say you don't want to have the noise. You can just turn this macro, watch. It kind of creates this like sort of cool background sawtooth. A lot of times like that's just like an annoying sound in the background that adds like a little bit of atmosphere. So if you want to do that, that essentially turns both these knobs down. Just add a macro to both sides, -100 and -100 on that. But I have that turned off for now. Now what we did is we added this. We like having our presets do all the work for you guys. You could like do a lot of automation, but what we do is we try to do all the automation in Serum. So this is where shit gets a little bit crazy. You don't have to do this. You could just kind of match it simply with automating it, but you can actually do it in Serum, which is really fun. So what we did is if you go into the matrix, right, and you go ahead and create LFO3 and you put it on the main tuning right here, right? So set LFO3, put it on the main tuning, have it go to -2%, just a little bit, right? And then have it go one way. I wish you could zoom in and see, but it's going to the left, okay?
It's such a sensitive knob.
It really is. And what that's doing is that's pitching it down -2. So I'm gonna turn that on. Now what we do is we add this cool little macro right here. It says main pitch down. We add a macro here at the aux source. What that does is that engages that effect. Watch when I turn this up. Here it does that. Because the sound itself, when you hear it, it goes ba, 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 right? So it has that cool pitch down. So what we did is we automated this macro up during part of the sound. It's cool. So if you guys want to go ahead and match this with some of your own presets, look, you can see we're using it right here. Right? We have that macro turned on. A lot of people kind of sleep on this ability to actually use Serum and these macros to kind of use some cool modulations where you can do everything in Serum. You don't have to use Ableton all the time. It also kind of makes you feel smarter with Serum too, I feel like. It makes me feel really good. Like
it's also, you don't get any of that pitch glitching anymore, do you?
Yeah.
The pitch glitch.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get a little bit more exact. It just depends on what you like. And then another thing we did is we actually added this other thing for C pitch mod up, right? Which is what I was explaining for this actually pitches up as well on that coarse pitch. So later in the actual part of the song, which I think is up here, let me show all the automation so you guys can see. Right here we have macro 1 happens. Over here we have macro 5, and then we have a little bit of coarse pitching right here. So macro 1, also the same thing. And macro 5 at the same time. So macro 5 is introducing the sync. So that sync is adding more pitch as well. So we have the sync going up at this part. And then we also have the pitch mod in it being engaged, which is this pitching up, right? That's essentially what we did. So kind of cool that you can do that. I showed you guys how to do all that yourself. If you guys want to go ahead and mess with that, I definitely recommend doing it. Let's hear it now in context. Oh, lastly, if you want to add a little bit of frequency shifting, you can use, and we just had a little bit of matching with the frequency just to get the tune just right. Certain parts, I think. Am I doing anything crazy? Show automation. I'm using this on the just this part right here because it's hard to get it to match. That shift adds a lot. Listen to that. Get that little extra pitch up because this is a super weird sound. Really cool. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. And of course, all of these sounds that are in this entire drop, let's just solo them real quick. All of those sounds are in the early access for Quest for Bass Volume 2, September 20th.
You just muted it on the best sound, bro. Play that yoink. Play that yoink.
I played it. It heard it.
It's a nice little dry, heavy
like this
yoink,
one right here?
dude.
The wolf?
Show 'em.
Yeah, pretty nasty.
nice.
A lot of
That's
sounds
nice.
like that. And of course, all the drums. So again, the link for the early access, 750 copies are only gonna be available if you wanna get this remake and 4 others. And of course, 7 project files from Excellent on top of that.
This
Tons
is the
of
most
bonus
project
presets,
files
so
we've
much stuff.
ever done.
Entered for a contest, all that stuff. Now, we did say we are going to play a nice little early sneak peek of all the other remakes. We got 2 more remakes and we're gonna announce them right now. We are doing Ratata and Andy, baby. So if you guys sign up for the early access, you can get those 2 project files in addition to Recovery, Redline Dash, and While You Were Sleeping. Those are all 5 of the Skrillex project file remakes that you will get for early access.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching till the end.
Yeah, we're gonna play all of the remakes. We got a nice little mashup for you guys. We're gonna play them on the way out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment. Parker, you got anything?
Peace.
Later.
Pieces.
Kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta. This the kind of beat to go rat-ta-ta. Rat-ta-ta. This the